Mr. Ambassador, first and foremost, I would like to say thank you for accepting us. My first question is related to the events in Afghanistan. As you know, today the attention of the world community is riveted on the events in Afghanistan. Afghanistan Defense Minister Bismillah Khan said government forces were in a very sensitive military situation, adding that the war is raging with the Taliban. My question is that, Mr. Ambassador, what is the real situation in Afghanistan right now? What factors accelerated the process of destabilization of the country?
Uh, Thank you very much. First of all, welcome Asimu Malim to the Embassy of Afghanistan. Yes, Afghanistan once again is on the world media. This is for two reasons. The first reason is that the Americans are leaving Afghanistan after 20 years. The second reason is for the Taliban gaining some geography in Afghanistan. For the first reason, Americans are living after 20 years. But during these 20 years, the American has done a lot in Afghanistan. For example, when we compare Afghanistan today with Afghanistan when the Taliban was toppled, there is a lot of differences. We have millions of students going to school, and we have hospitals running. We have constitution, and also institutions were built. But when the Americans decided to leave Afghanistan, the government of Afghanistan welcomed that decision, and we consider it a new opportunity for Afghanistan, a new chapter in our relationship with the international community, the United States, and with NATO. The Americans, they did not say that they're leaving Afghanistan and they're going without helping Afghanistan. So the relationship is different than what it was after the withdrawal of the American and NATO forces. Secondly, the Taliban has gained some ground in Afghanistan after the announcement of the Americans that they are leaving. As Bismillah Khan said, it's a very sensitive situation, but it doesn't mean that Taliban are going to defeat the government of Afghanistan. Because this situation needed a rearrangement of forces. Because before the Americans wanted to leave Afghanistan, they were covering, they were providing the air cover for Afghan security forces. Some of these posts, some of these districts were very far from the center, and therefore it was difficult for Afghan forces after the leaving of the United States to provide security and logistics for them. The best thing was to bring them, all of them, in a center, closer, that the Afghan forces, until that they rearrange things, security matters, they can provide them with logistics and also with communication, with air support. So that period was a little bit disarranged, and in most cases, we withdraw our forces without losing our any personnel, any force, and any equipment. But in some cases, because we were disconnected in some of our forces, they lost their equipment, and in some cases, there has been in a few cases that the forces were surrendered because we could not reach them on time.
What measures are being taken by the Afghan authorities to resolve the conflict situation in the country?
one of the things that Afghanistan and the people of Afghanistan wants peace, because it has been more than 40 years the people of Afghanistan is suffering from insecurity in Afghanistan. Therefore, the first and foremost priority of President Ghani and the government of Afghanistan is bringing peace in this country. Therefore, when the United States sit with the Taliban, and we were expecting that the Taliban will come with to the negotiating table with a reasonable suggestions. You see, when the American and the Taliban sit together, there was 4 things that the Taliban had to do. First, that they had to relinquish their relations with foreign fighters. That was the first thing they had to do. The second thing was that they have to do reduce violence in Afghanistan. The third thing, they had to negotiate in good faith. The fourth thing was the ceasefire. An American had to withdraw from Afghanistan. The American is keeping its promise that they'll be withdrawing from Afghanistan. But the Taliban, they have not respected or honored their part. For example, in terms of the foreign fighters, now a lot of foreign fighters are fighting with the Taliban, because if the Taliban are not there, then the foreign fighters cannot have a base in Afghanistan. This is a symbiotic arrangement. The Taliban provides the base, and the foreign fighters provide them the fighters. This is a kind of relationship that exists with them, but it doesn't mean that we should not work for peace. Still, we are hoping that we have to reach to some kind of a negotiated settlement with the Taliban. We know that, most of the Taliban are getting killed these days. They're also Afghans. Therefore, the government is trying its most, not to create a situation that kills the people of Afghanistan. Therefore, we are very careful when we are fighting the Taliban. The other thing is, after the Taliban, they had to advance toward the cities. Now there is a civilian uprising against the Taliban, because when the people does not want you to come to power, then it will be very difficult. In this case, we have three choices. Either we have to reach to peace, which is very important, and for that reason, the cooperation of the neighboring countries, the regional countries, the international community is very important. Because the Taliban, the foreign fighters which are supporting the Taliban, they are not just to sit there in Afghanistan. If they get a chance, then they'll be a threat for the countries around us. In national term, we have the Taliban, which is creating problem for Afghanistan. But in regional term, we have the Ansarullah of Tajikistan, the UN Uzbekistan, and we have the Turkestan Islamic movement, and we have also the Kafkas, the fighters of the Kafkas. So, and also the Lashkar-e-Taiba of Pakistan, or the Pakistani Taliban. So, if they are in a situation that they prevail, so I guess it will be difficult for the region. Therefore, it is not just the duty of Afghans to fight them. Though we are in the front line to fight terrorism for the world, but the world has to also help us in reaching peace and also in fighting terrorism.
Mr. Musa, let's move on to another topic that concerns Azerbaijan-Afghan relations. After the end of the Second Karabakh War, a new geopolitical reality was formed in the South Caucasus region. What role would be assigned to Afghanistan in the implementation of new projects in the liberated Azerbaijani territories?
You see, Afghanistan and Azerbaijan are very close friends. We have shared culture, shared religion, and shared history. And the two presidents also have a very good relations and they respect each other a lot. You know that Afghanistan supported Azerbaijan's quest for liberating its occupied territory. I guess Afghanistan was one of the first countries, one of the first countries who supported the implementation of the United Nations resolutions on Azerbaijan. And also, we also condemned the mass killing in Khojaly that was done by our parliament. And also we supported Azerbaijan's proposal in the OIC. Also, Azerbaijan has been into Afghanistan for a long time. And then in the peace troops for peace in Afghanistan. Now, at the moment, also Azerbaijan has around 120 soldiers in Afghanistan. They are working with the contingent of the Turks in Afghanistan. Also, Azerbaijan had helped Afghanistan in many areas. Recently, if you remember, that Azerbaijan wants to open its embassy in Afghanistan, which is a very welcome proposal. And also Afghanistan granted agreement for the new ambassador. And we are hoping that it will happen soon and the ambassador goes to Afghanistan. Yes, we also visited the liberated areas. I have been there 4 times, and I also had a interview. For the last three visits, we have seen a lot of distractions, houses destroyed, graveyards destroyed, mosque has been destroyed. But this time when we went to Shusha, we saw a different phase of this liberated area. We see there is movements, there is construction. We saw this big airport being constructed in the Fazoli area, which is not very far from Shusha or from other parts. And then we saw that a big energy center, electricity center has been built in Fazoli. Then we saw that the route to Shusha is being constructed, and also the pylons of electricity has already reached. But this is in a very short period of time, and that was very. I mean, we were astonished how quick they have done it. And I know that the president of Azerbaijan, as he was very serious and determined on liberating the occupied area, he is also very much determined to build this occupied area. And Shusha, again, I was telling that is part of a paradise. The weather, the air, the sceneries, it's beautiful. I guess it will be the next attracting, what do you call it, exotic attraction for tourists. And it is beautiful. And no doubt that we are having good relations with Azerbaijan, and also the president had encouraged us to have more economic relations between these two countries. But in the situation that we are at the moment, we have not been part of rebuilding, but in future, why not? Because it's a very big area, and there will be investment from Afghanistan or investment from Azerbaijan in Afghanistan. These things will come.
Mr. Ambassador, a five-sided agreement on transport and transit cooperation along the Lapis Lazuli route was signed November 15, 2070 in Ashgabat between Azerbaijan, Afghanistan, Turkey, and Turkmenistan. What will be the role of the corridor in integrating the region into the global economy? What new opportunities will create this corridor for countries participating in the project?
You see, this was an idea for regional connectivity. And this was an idea by President Ashraf Ghani, because Afghanistan is a crossroad for transit and for trade. So we thought that we can bring the gas and energy from this part of the world to South Asia, and also trade from South Asia towards Europe. Therefore, there was this first plan, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Turkey, the route. And we had also a trial cargo in 2018, and that was successful. But still, there are some problems to be solved in terms of agreements to be signed. Nowadays, even Tajikistan wants to be part of this Lapis Lazuli route, and even Ukraine wants to be part of this Lapis Lazuli route. Because in terms of time and in terms of expenses, this is much more easy. Because it's not just a trade route or a transit route. Because with this will come energy, with this come fiber optics, and this is a very big project, but still we have to work on it. In January, there was the trilateral Afghanistan, 16 January, trilateral between Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, and Azerbaijan. We signed that. And also we have to sign some bilaterals with Georgia, and we are working on that one, and also some bilaterals with Azerbaijan, and we are working on that. And hopefully this is a matter of years. Some of the projects are not projects that will be approved in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Some are, what do you call it? These are fundamental projects, and they take some time. But it is Azerbaijan is a very strategically located geography, and it's very important in terms of transit and in terms of trade.
Mr. Thank you so much for your interest analysis. Thank you so much for
You're
your
most
time.
welcome, Semur Malim. You are most welcome. Thank you.